Hello, folks, and welcome back. This is Let's Talk Radio with your host, Robert Vaughn, and your co-hosts, Mike Shomo and Verl Majid. And today we have a very special guest. This guest we have today is Onre Nobles. Onre is a musician, Northeast Ohio musician, a producer, and a performing artist. In addition, Onre creates and markets jewelry. He comes from a French musical background and started playing music when he was 11 years old. He started out with jazz and was later introduced to classical music, which is where he developed a love for cinematic film scores. He also does film scores. He's doing one now, as a matter of fact, that he'll probably tell you about. He composes all of his music and plays all the parts on his recordings. His first instrument was the guitar, later on moving to the keyboard. He has also played top 40 R&B. Later on, he incorporated a style of music with rhythms from around the world. We will discuss with Onre his music, his experience navigating the lockdown, and managing to grow his business at the same time. His music can be found on many platforms by Googling Onre Nobles. That's O-N-R-E Nobles. Well, welcome, Onre. We're glad to have you. And who doesn't love music, you know?
Yeah, it's universal.
It's universal language, a universal language.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So tell us, how's it been for you the last year, you know, with the COVID lockdown and everything? You seem to manage to come out on the other side in one piece and still managing to grow your jewelry business and your music. So tell us a little bit about what it's been for you like the last year, you know.
Well, with the COVID, it helped a lot of ways keep you so as you be really grounded. It helped connect with a lot of musicians and producers, arrangers and everything, because when you're running, don't nobody have time to catch up with you. But while I slowed down with the COVID, oh man, every software manufacturer that had a music software coming out of VST or something like that to go with the recording industry was contacting me left and right. They still do. So I've always worked with Spitfire Audio. That's over in England. And what it is that Spitfire, they do movies and stuff like that, and they do competitions. Mm-hmm. So they always have a competition out there for somebody to arrange a score or something to that movie clip that they got, which the most recent one is called Stargirls. And this is basically a superhero movie. And it's about a young lady and she finds a raft and she gets superpowers the whole 100 yards.
Okay, so now you're doing a musical score for that?
Yeah, I'm doing the score for that.
Oh, okay.
And basically what it does, it opens up a lot of avenues. Okay. And like I'm already on Instagram, and to show you how Instagram went in my favor, they gave me some free advertisement. So I said, I'm gonna take this, see how far it go. You know, later on it leads to paid, but yet still they threw it out there and everybody was really going for it. They're really into it, you know, because it's got a direction for young folks and people in between, and it's that adventure thing, like the Avengers and stuff like that. Okay. And it's got a lot of people really touching base. And the biggest thing about that is to hear people's response, for somebody to tell you they like what you're doing, or you know, how'd you come up with this idea or whatever, you know. And what it is that I'm multifaceted, so I can do so many things, you know. I can listen to a piece just for somebody talking and put music behind it. And this is how the score come to you. It come to you with just a dialogue. So when you got the dialogue, you see them moving through it back and forth, but you got to figure out what you want to put in it. How you going to make this interesting? So you got to make it to the point where people be watching the movie, they can say, hey, that's really exciting or something, you know. So now I'm getting that. I'm getting that feedback off of YouTube and Instagram and everything. Matter of fact, I got a guy, he want to hook up with me, and he's somewhere in Brazil, South America, somewhere. But it's an international thing, you know.
A lot of your rhythms are Afrocentric rhythms, or
Afrocentric, the New Age and island, New Age and Caribbean feel, you know, a lot of it's Latino, you know, some of it can go into the Jamaican feel, you know, but that's because I experiment with rhythms, you know. I like to hear different sounds. I'm not going to be that average guy that hears one thing and get locked in. I like to know what it can do. If you got 1,000 sounds around you, at least use as many as you can. If you can use 500 or 600 sounds, use all of them.
Yeah.
You know, what really has got a lot of people amazed, when you Black, they don't expect you to come out of the bag like that. They ain't looking for you to come out of the bag with, ooh, this is different. You know, the first person hit me up and said, boy, how did you come up with that one? That's really inspirational.
You're gonna be R&B or hip hop, huh?
Yeah, because they have a tendency to label people. They
Yeah.
figure you Black, you supposed to be this and that. But see, you can go so many ways because we're multi-dimensional. That's why they call us colored people. See, by you being colored, you mix with this and this and this, and then you think of your origin, you got different nationalities that's combined into that chemistry, you know.
Yeah.
So that's how that goes, you know. So it's a learning process for a lot of people, but with me, there's something to do. You know, I don't even get excited no more.
How many artists have you worked with, or musicians that we know that you worked with?
Oh man, I could go through a boatload of that.
Hey, well, give us a mini boat of it.
Okay, I don't work with. I did some with it's back in the day, Leroy Smiley. I worked with oh man, how can I think of?
Work with some local guys too, right?
Yeah, I worked with a lot of local guys, man, back in the day, you know.
Have you worked with Don?
Who, Donnie Pearson?
Don Pearson.
I know him. I never worked with him. Donnie Pearson was always writing songs and material on his own. So that's how I know of him. I worked with oh man,
Skip,
Mike,
right?
the jazz band, you know, Mike Wally. He passed away, and I worked with him. I used to record a lot with him. And back in the day, it was guys like Leroy Smalley and all them little guys, Jimmy St. Clair and all that stuff like that. These are local musicians, you know.
Dewey Jeffries, he was in jazz.
I know Dewey. I knew Dewey before he died.
Yeah, that's my brother.
Yeah. I used to sit in with Eddie Backus up there on Kinsman.
Yeah.
We went and played some sets or whatever, and it was
Al Rollins had the barber shop. Al.
I know Al too, but basically a lot of them guys, if they didn't switch up, they still out there. You know what I'm saying? In other words, if you ain't graduated to the new level of music, they still doing old school. You know, I went over.
Al passed away a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
That was Al the barber.
Yeah.
On Union.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The uppercut.
Yeah.
It was Kinsman the first
hair,
name, then Union, yeah.
Yeah.
I used to go to him when I was in high school, man.
Okay. You got Kinsman there. A lot of people couldn't go to him because he was a Black nationalist.
Okay.
A lot of we went to Shaker and our parents were telling us not to go. Well, my mother didn't tell you, get your hair cut wherever you paying for. You can get it wherever you want to cut. You know?
See, I just thought he had a big afro and wore dashikis, man.
Hey!
He did have the most Afrocentric place in Cleveland, though, you know.
Yeah.
Black art, everything in there.
Yeah,
Like,
you know, Cleveland, if you dial back during the time of Leo's Casino and all that, this was the mecca of entertainment.
Oh, it was.
Oh yeah.
You dial back and you just go back to the Circle Ballroom and stuff like that, the red carpet, and oh man, what can I think of? The Fenway Hotel over there used to have play in there, Little Herman's over there. Oh, the Esquire Lounge over there. Oh man, then you go to Winston's and all of that.
You make a breeze.
Yeah.
Cleveland was jumping, yeah.
Yeah, Cleveland was jumping, man. It wasn't nothing to be on 105 Euclid and see somebody like Lou Rawls running down the street, walking down the street.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Lou Rawls, and then when down the music box, you would see everybody. Matter of fact, one of the OJs was one of the biggest talk of the town back then with the Ohio Players and stuff like that. And what we used to do was go to them clubs just to be around them. You know, I met Ellie Levert, and I was so fascinated over the luggage. He had shoes for every day of the week, and he said, these are uniforms. I said, man, that was really something. I was just like looking at all the clothes, man. It's like, when I seen the suitcases with all the shoes and stuff, I was just shocked, man. I'm like, God, dog, they ain't playing.
Well, you know, it's funny because music, it seems like cities that have a vibrant music scene are usually prosperous cities.
Yeah, because
it's like cities when they go down, that's the first thing that leaves is the music, man, you know? Because I remember, you know, back in the day, you know, the Alcazar Hotel in Cleveland Heights. I mean, you know, Miles Davis, John Coltrane, I mean, the who's who of jazz used to come there and play. And I rode past that place 1,000 times. I never knew that, you know, that they would come in there, you know, but like you say, Cleveland used to really be a
Yeah,
mecca.
it used to be it. They don't get the props really because they talk about the Rock Hall of Fame. Just don't deal with black music. It's a brother come out of Detroit. He got the R&B Hall of Fame. And he deal with the Temptations and all the Motown crowd. And the thing of it is that they don't identify with him here. He came over here and we all hung out. Me, him, Sam Cooke's daughter, Carla Cook, Sherry Ruffin, that's David Ruffin's daughter. We all hung out. And it was the thing was they don't have enough things open up for music, here.
Yeah, well, that was one of the biggest things in the last few years, even when I was a manager of a recording studio. The biggest thing was that we didn't have a venue that sit like 1,500 people.
Yeah, there you go.
And that was because when they rebuilt Vale's Red Carpet, they made it too small.
Yeah.
So you know how big the other place was. It was real. You could put bands and about 1,000 people in there.
Yeah.
But one of the most of your successful places, cities and stuff, have venues where they can seat 1,000, 2,000 people, just to have just the people that they can, work on their craft.
Right.
Yeah, we need more outlets here, yeah.
Yeah, and they don't have nothing to make a person prosperous. I mean, see, with the music world, you really can't shoot negativity at people simply because people get distracted behind negativity. So they got to live on the positive thing. I might hear somebody singing, they can't say that. That sounds all right. Simply because I'm trying to help boost them. Now I could hear different or whatever, but you got to boost that morale. But it's like now I know so many people around the world, country, man, you know what I'm saying? It's like really something for this city to be talking about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and ain't nothing here to be famous about.
Well, I think Cleveland doesn't really show musicians love like other cities. Like actually, Akron is a much better city for being a musician than Cleveland is. Well, Akron's a rock and roll city, but if you look at all the artists, the James Gang, the Eagles, you look at all the artists, the Black Keys that come out of the Akron, Canton area. I mean, it's because the people there support their artists,
Right.
and like, that's like if you're in Atlanta and if you're an artist from Atlanta, people there show you love just because you're from Atlanta. You may not even be that good. Same thing from, in New York. If you in New York, you're from the Bronx, everybody in the Bronx was like 1 million people live in the Bronx. So you don't even have to leave the Bronx to make a living.
No, you ain't got to leave New York to get rich.
You can go in one borough and it's got 3 times as many people as in the whole city of Cleveland, and you can make a living just in that one borough because people will show you love just because you're from there. And it seems like in Cleveland, you don't see that, I mean,
because you got so many diverse reactions toward people. You got people that they more so to say you're not gonna make it than to say you are gonna make it.
Right.
Yeah.
And the thing is about Cleveland artists, they're not really hungry enough. They're not hungry enough. They think it's supposed to happen overnight, and if they don't happen overnight, they give up. I had a couple of groups myself. In fact, I was trying to get a lady. Now, this lady, she could out sing Aaliyah. She had that vibrato. She had that vibrato in her voice and everything. And she was just in high school. And I was trying to hook up a situation where, in the summer on the weekend, she'd come into the recording studio, and her mom and dad say, "No, we don't want her in the music." And I said, she has a voice that people should really hear. I said, "I'll do it for free. I won't even charge anything. I won't take a percentage. I'll let y'all do all that." She's a Muslim sister. And I was just like, you just don't know. This girl, in fact, she was a friend of my daughter's. And my daughter said, "I don't like coming around you because your father always asking me to sing."
Yeah, well, when you find that talent, man, it's just a thing where you just want it.
Right.
It's like, do you and don't quiz about it. You know what I'm saying? Because I run into young lady, like I was telling Vaughn, I went into a money exchange, and the girl singing behind the counter, and she could sing. And I told her, "You got the wrong job, girl." I said, "You back here singing." And she told me she had a chance to get with Jeanette Monet and say that she was had a problem about her weight. She didn't want to deal with it because of her weight. I'm talking, this girl had a beautiful voice. I mean, if you
it was like you remember "I'll Be Gentle" with Frederick.
Yeah.
Okay, Janice Dowling was the girl that sang with that. And then see, when Frederick went out on the road, he took this little cutie girl because he didn't want people to see this, this plus size woman. And you know, but the thing is that she couldn't hold a song like he could.
See what I'm saying?
You know,
That's
and,
what
and
we
that's been a big thing too, you know. But now, since Lizzo and a couple of other people and Jennifer, even though Jennifer has lost a lot of weight, you know, they're accepting more plus size women, because we say real size women. And the thing that, you know, the discrimination and thing, because the record companies have a certain way they want you to look. Because we had another album that we did for Anthony Rice, who's, you know, he sings all through around the city now.
Yeah, I know Rice. I work with him.
Right. You know how, you know, well he sings, but he had a lady that worked with him, and they had a song called "Can You Keep a Secret," done right at our studio in Time Tracks Recording. And man, the song was beautiful, and we were sending the bios out and everything, and the companies RCA and Jive Records, and they would say, well, we can work with the guy, but the girl, you know, she got heavy African features. She had big lips, big nose and stuff. She was a beautiful black woman when you talk about a black woman.
Right.
But because she wasn't light, bright, damn near white, and, you know, good hair and all that stuff, they didn't want her.
You know? What it be when you find a situation like that, you can take that artist and take them up under your wing, and you can promote them yourself.
Yeah, do like India Irie, you know.
Yeah.
She came out at the same time. There's a girl came out, light-skinned girl, Alicia Keys.
Right.
India Irie could sing as well, but wasn't getting the promotion and rhythm.
That's what it takes.
It
takes all of that to bring that artist out.
Yeah.
See, because you can get Billboard, you'd be surprised what you can do right now with little dollars. You know, I used to
labels, they have a certain protocol, or a certain fit, or a certain type of artist that they like to work with.
A certain discrimination.
Yeah, that's discrimination.
But Robert,
Yeah,
it's
like you
changing
look
now
a
because
certain
of
way.
social media. You know, people can promote themselves, so they can get out there. You know.
Yeah, that's just like if you say, well, hey, I'm a rapper, if I'm a female rapper, well, they don't want Lauryn Hill, they want Cardi B, they want you to fit this mold. You know, if you say, well, I'm a rapper from Cleveland, then they want you to be like the baby, you know.
But see,
but they have a certain mold they want you to fit, and everybody doesn't fit those molds. But like you said, though, you know, you can do it yourself, Mike.
You can be better off promoting your own artists. I mean, and then you could do even better.
Right.
See, you be the record label quiet skip, because all you do is you know the function. So you take that artist up under your wing, and no matter how she look, you know you can mold a person to make them look like you want them to look.
That's right. When people listen to it on the radio, they get into that sound, you know.
Right. You know.
So you heard a story about Adele, right? Her first manager after she got her big hit.
Oh yeah, Adele. That's one of my favorites. She's, you know, she was a plus size. She got all.
Yeah, but her manager told her she needed to lose weight. You know what she said? She said, "No, you need to lose weight." He said, and furthermore, said you're fired. And then she went on to win 7 Grammys. You know.
Right.
Yeah, when she did Skyfall, that just blew him out. Yeah.
And you know who her boyfriend is now, right? Cleveland guy.
Tell us.
Who?
Rich Paul.
Okay.
Rich Paul, LeBron's guy that used to work at Next on Shaker Square.
Okay.
Oh, really?
He's an agent now. Yeah, you know, he's the top NBA agent now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's his girlfriend. And I said, oh man, you know.
Well, it don't take that, but you want to do it. If you got the right connection, it can get out of it. You know, a lot of people back up on the promotion part, but you got to be on P&R person, believe me.
Right. Yeah, because see, when I was in Texas, my daughter was playing. This was back 6-7 years ago. My daughter opened a bakery down in Texas, and I went down to help her for a week. She worked the stuff out of me too. But you know, the thing is that she was listening to this artist, and I said, "Who is that?" She said, "That's Adele." I said, "Adele? Whoa!" and when she did "Hello," now I have a mix on that you wouldn't even believe. A guy did a go-go mix in DC. I was up in DC, and we were at a party, and a friend of mine was giving a party, and they had a DJ there, and I went and said, "Man, I like this." You know, they had the mix going, and he was like, "Hello, hello, hello," and it was just so good. And I said, "Man, can I get a copy of that?" He said, "It's gonna cost you $5." I said, I'm gonna give you $20 for that.
I know that's right. So you ain't saying nothing but a word, you know?
I have it till this day, and I play it every now and then. But it was done so good and so well, you know.
Yeah, you know, you can get an artist, like I say, and if you still got that musical background for the promotion going, you can put them out there, man. Every day somebody come up with a new way to promote artists.
Yeah. Well, you know, one of the interesting
Especially since the internet and stuff. Go ahead.
Oh
Robert.
yeah, man, there's a lot going
Yeah.
on.
Well, that's what I was going to say. One of the interesting things about the last year and a half is that people have learned how to use the internet to make money, you know, because a lot of artists now are streaming these shows. They have a lot of these platforms where you can stream a show and people can pay $5 to see a show or $10 or whatever they want. And I mean, even artists like Anthony Hamilton are using these internet streams, you know, streaming shows to make money.
Yeah,
So
Yeah,
I
just
think
think
it's
about
kind
you
of-
got the whole world as your audience. You can make
yeah.
Grand Theft money then, yeah.
And
yeah.
it forced people to learn how to make a living, how to make money without actually going to a label. You know,
Yeah.
that's why, you like you say,
That's
you
why I
don't really
say you
need a
can be
label.
your own label, because all
Yeah,
the
yeah.
P&R people not doing like you used to. You know, you used to go
Mm-hmm.
spend so much money for record releases and stuff.
Mhm.
They're not doing that. You doing P&R on your own.
Yeah, cut the middleman out, go straight to the
Yeah,
source.
you're going straight to the source.
Verl's daughter is a singer and a songwriter, and she did she did a real nice song. We were shopping the song, and I was talking because I was in touch with T.C. Tompkins, who was the guys who discovered Teddy Riley and them, and was with them. And you know, one of the guys told me, said, well, you know, it could be a hit, could, you know, maybe not. I said, but you know, even that with other stuff that I've sent you, you know, at least you're saying maybe. There's the other ones just like, nah, we can't use this. It's like this.
You know what you do? You get engagement off the internet with people listening to whatever it is you got out there.
Oh yeah.
And let them
Somebody's gonna
tell
like
you
it.
what they think.
Somebody's
just
gonna like it.
They just as important as a major label.
Mhm.
Right.
Your
They're the
biggest
ones
critic
buying,
is in
yeah.
the audience. Your biggest critic is when you get on the stage, your biggest critic is in the audience. They can tell you something about music you don't know nothing about. They can't play none else.
Right.
I know it's funny too, because you talk about how music, how it forced people to be a little more inventive and creative about marketing music. You know, the same thing happened with politics, because it used to, before last year, you know, you had campaign organizers, but last year you started having digital organizers, you know, where they would just organize digitally, and they have these platforms, you know, Democratic Party, Republican Party has these platforms where you can do a lot digitally in cases where you can't actually go out and talk to people and see people like you used to be. So I think it's, you know, the lockdown showed us all how to different ways of making money. You know what I'm saying?
Especially with technology changing like it has, yeah.
Yeah.
Lockdown really make you really learn yourself. You
Yeah.
learn yourself and learn what's around you, man. I've been around it, cleaning the house and everything.
Yeah. Hey, Onre, I got a question. Did you ever work with Bobby Womack?
For a minute, yeah. Just for a
Oh,
minute.
okay, yeah.
Just
Yeah,
for a minute.
about
Matter
way
of
back
fact,
in the
I
day.
was dealing with one of his cousins not too long ago. I had to let her go.
Oh, okay.
You know, but yeah, the guys locally, see, back in the day, locally, you could work with anybody that wasn't a star.
Right.
Right.
See, that's before you identify him as a star, because you went to Bodie's recording studio down on Union and all that kind of carrying on.
I
You
remember
know,
that. Yeah.
Mr. Bodie used to fix my organ, and had cables would go loose, and he'd go in there and know how to solder them back and all that carrying on. He was a good guy. He was working with vinyl back in the day. We had 45 records come out of his studio.
I remember.
Yeah, and remember when the OJs had the Sounds of Cleveland for a minute?
The little studio Miles.
Yeah, somewhere around there, Miles or Union, one of them.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it's where Giant Tiger used to be.
Oh,
No,
okay.
they had one down the street on Miles, about 128 or something down there.
Yeah, just
Oh,
right,
okay.
right below 130 because
Yeah, below 130. That's
Okay.
where Bobby Dukes and them would be at.
yeah,
Bobby
it's a daycare now.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was a nice spot. You know what I'm
It's actually
saying?
it was called Shaker Wood Studios.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's-
Cleveland needs another studio, I think.
They need more help, because people need to know about the music business from the point of promote music and how they don't have to run to a major level, because you are the major and they don't need a P&R person. You just need a person that is capable of help promoting you. That's P&R. See, now back in the day, you spend $1,800 or better to get a P&R person just before you release the record. you know. So now you can do all that on the line, you know. And the thing of it now is, like I told Robert Vaughn, I said, man, you got to promote yourself first. Then people come to you to see what you shopping. See what I'm saying? Once they come to you to see what you shopping, now you can work out deals.
Well, you know, we had a connection when we were at Time Tracks, and you know, people would make music, and you know, people would be like, "No, we did record companies. Now we don't like this, or this a little bit of this." But there was a guy. He was an agent. And this guy would buy anything that we made, anything. I don't care how good or how bad it was, and send it over to Japan.
Right.
And these people would buy so much stuff.
Yeah, but see,
he was getting money in the mail.
Yeah, the audience in Japan, they fall in love with an artist. So like, say for instance, Michael Jackson. You ain't heard nothing about Michael Jackson who knows how long. They still buying his records and stuff. They can get their hands on it. And England is the first one that switched over to vinyl. See, England doing albums and stuff out of vinyl.
Well, you remember,
really? Okay, they went back. Okay.
The movie Cadillac Records. Y'all see
I remember that.
Yeah.
Remember at the end when they had Muddy Waters and them going over to Europe, and he said, "Man, I don't know what these people want." And he got out his day, they want you. You know, because that's why Jimi Hendrix and all them went over there, and you know, a lot.
Marvin Gaye was over there for a while, wasn't he?
He went exile. He went exile.
Yeah, Edwin Starr went over and moved there.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you notice how much better the Europeans treat the African Americans than
They got a better, you know
but
what?
they treat all their artists better,
They
man.
not really open to all that racism as bad as the United States. See,
They
you
don't-
got the racism that blocks you from getting ahead. I used to go, my first organ, I bought it out of Hallie's. And the guy was saying, I come out of New York with the Halley Brothers and I see this Hammond B organ, like a B3. I said,
B3.
yeah, I said, I'm a
green onions.
Yeah, and so like I go in there, the guy held this dang organ for me. I was a young guy, I was about 18 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And I still bought it. I bought it, had little money, and had no real money. So when I go to approach the organ, it was some white guy, he probably can't play. Don't you know what, man? I took music back in the day and I could outplay all the white guys that came in there to take music. You know, I was on another level altogether. My protege was Jimmy Smith, Richard Groove Holmes, Jack McDuff, all these guys were my proteges. You see what I'm saying? So when it came to organ, that's what I set up and did.
Electrifying Eddie Harris.
Yeah, you know, so it was a thing where I met Shirley Scott. She showed me how to make chords and stuff like that. She was playing with Lou Donaldson, you know. And, you know, like my brother would say, man, you would always run up on the stage with somebody. Yeah, that was me. I'm going up on the stage and stuff. I did this with Miles Davis down there in the State Theater. You know, I was fascinated over here. Matter of fact, he is one of my inspirations. And the trip to it is, he played horn, but see, he played outside the box. When you look for horn just to play the horn, Miles got a rock something around him, and there he is playing the horn in the middle. I said, now that's my kind of kid.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Eddie Harris went top 40 with the Listen Here.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen here.
Da 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 da.
Yeah. Well, what it was is that the guys found out there was more money when they crossed over. Just like Miles said, he felt like he was robbing people when he crossed over. He said, man, I feel like I'm robbing people without a gun. He said, but what it was is that he had that Betty Davis, he had married her. And Betty Davis told him he needed to cross over. And then a couple of other rock groups told him, you know, R&B groups told him he needed to cross over. So in the event, when he crossed over, the money got real big. Because when I last seen Miles, he was at the State Theater, the Palace down there. He had come out of retirement. And his retirement package was $95,000 a night. So he was making real money, you know? And you think I didn't want to talk about that? Get out of here. So what the deal of it was is that he was sponsored by Yamaha equipment. So Yamaha had amplifiers and all that kind of stuff. Michael Henderson played bass guitar with him. You know, me and Mike still cool right now. But the thing of it is that I tell anybody, if there's somewhere you want to go around the people that's doing what you want to do. Whatever they're doing what you want to do. So if they want to do music or film or whatever, go around and you'll click in there. Your click will come out of there. You know, don't go around your locals that ain't did nothing telling you what they can do. Go around somebody that's doing something.
Right. You know, it's unfortunate. A lot of brothers want to cross over. Cats get jealous of them and then tell them they sold out. But they just went to get some money in another market, you know.
Right, they want to get some real money. You figure if you're making $300 a night, and then somebody come to you talking about 3,000. What you gonna do? You gonna take that 1,000?
Hey, you don't have to go to night school to figure that out.
No, you don't. You know what I'm saying? Because I met Dennis Davis. He used to play drums with Roy Ayers and everybody. And he jumped from Roy Ayers to playing behind David Bowie. Now we were talking about some money. He said, man, David Bowie was paying all the 3,000 for a gig. You know, that's a night, just him, one man. So he had a whole band, but that's what he was paying him. See what I'm saying?
Wow. Bad payday, huh?
In other words, you went from a regular gig, we might get 300 to 500 to 3,000 to 4,000. So when you start getting them 2,000 or 3,000 a night, it looks good. So if you do 30 shows of that, you got it made. See what I'm saying? And a lot of guys don't know. A lot of artists that come in and be with a jazz band, they be just left a gig in Miami and Florida somewhere. See what I'm saying?
You know, they bring people in, like, you know, like Buddy Miles. Buddy Miles played with everybody.
Yeah. And Jimmy Hendrix played with the Isley Brothers.
Yeah.
He was a good
He started with Little Richard.
Yeah.
He started,
you know, and he decided to come up with his own style. And
Right.
he went to England when he got the band of Gypsies and all that. But Jimmy Hendrix had people right here in Ohio. He had a bus driver that was his cousin or something.
You know what? Music is still one industry where people can really make some real money. And I mean, we see all these entertainers like now Rihanna's from the time she's a billionaire. And that was a short period of time when she got out there, you know. So there's a lot of opportunities, especially like with technology and social media and hitting and, you know, can bypass the major studios. So we really need to do something in Cleveland, man.
Yeah, well, what it is, they don't have, what they gotta have is some black growth and some investors that bring stuff here. It's like when I went to Akron for LeBron had a thing over in Akron, Ohio, a ceremony before he bought the school. And he was telling them how he told him he's gonna bring back the championship to his city, Akron. See, now for that one person, that was a big speech. You know what I'm saying? For him to say he gonna bring something back to the city of Akron, then he flipped and bought the school. You know, he put up the 80 million for the school, got the school for people that had learning disabilities, couldn't get their babies out tonight, and put them, educate them. So when you start educating people, man, they get wiser. You know what I'm saying? Now they know about investing and all this stuff. Just like I was saying, I be out on Instagram, man, I look at them young people and they be making millions of dollars, and it's all off of one idea. You know, they just step forward with it. You know, if
and because nowadays you're stepping out in the whole world stage. You know, you're not just, you don't have to go through the filters of these studios and different people. You can get out there just through social media and approach the whole world by yourself. So it's a lot out here, man.
Yeah, it's a whole lot. Like I say, I've been on the international level since I was about 18, 19 years old. When I found out that people all over the world was interested in what I was doing, I started cutting CDs. You know, I started cutting CDs like crazy, man. When I got to the point I could record something and put it on the CD, I put it out there, man. I had said,
digital turned the whole game upside down.
Yeah.
Because see, and that's what's going on now. We're talking about studios, because you have to go out to Beechwood Studios where they have the, you know, the $1 million studios and stuff. But now, you know, advent of the computer and the software and stuff, Apple and you know, Macintosh and these people who have, you know, music, you know, just built into their systems and stuff.
Right.
You know, you got my grandson just bought him a little studio, and he's making stuff in his bedroom, and he got stuff on Spotify and this, that, other, you know. So
it don't take long.
Right.
I can send a tune from here to Europe in about 20 minutes or less. It goes straight into Europe. I had a chick, she called me she got in touch with me from Australia. She said, send me something to put on the radio. And I sent about 4 or 5 tracks, and it was over there about 10 minutes. You know, but see, when people like what you're doing, they'll notify you and tell you. That's what I like about this track I did for the movie. Everybody got all positive comments. Ain't no negativity. And the people around the globe is commenting. See what I'm saying? They telling me, yeah, we like what you're doing, this and that. And like I say, they're impressed a lot because what I'm doing in that cinematic field, that take them another way.
Right.
So let me ask you this, and this question is for anybody, but I ask you, do you think there ever come a time when Cleveland will be a major music center? Because there are a lot of musicians here, a lot of, people that love music, a lot of venues here,
I don't think so. I don't think the venues are good for major acts.
for
But
certain types of
we don't
music.
have venues. We don't have venues for developing acts.
No,
We have to do things that will develop these
Mhm.
young, because we have a lot of talented people here, because we Black people. We have a lot of talents, a lot of things that, that we can do, but we don't have, venues that really promote and help, our young people. We have, we got Rainey Institute. My kids went to Rainey Institute, learn how to play different things. And then once they get there and to see what you can actually do and the business of it, it's just like the Cleveland Public Schools. Okay, they took, shop out of the schools. Okay, but what they did is that they sent it to the suburban schools, and they don't call it shop. They call it construction tech.
Technology.
They teach them the business of it. They teach them how to hire, who to hire,
Mhm.
why to hire, and you give them different things and show them how to do different things so that they get the complete thing. We don't have that for our people in the inner city and stuff. We don't have that.
You know what,
one
Robert,
thing-
I have to respectfully disagree with you. I mean, Mike, because I think we'll have it when we put it there, and basically in stating that problem, you give us a solution. We have to simply create that venue.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We have, that's what I'm saying. Until we do that, Burl, until we do that.
We have to do it,
We don't have it. We don't have it now, but we have to do it.
Yeah, I agree.
And I'm not trying to campaign right now, but in my case, that's what I'm talking about. Getting more into the arts and stuff, to have a studio, to have different things, artists, dance, and all that stuff. Because all that stuff, because you do, look, you singing, we got vocal coaches, we got people that can do that. But then, okay, what you gonna do with it? Okay, now we got people over here that's got the studio teaching these people. So we take the people that are doing the singing or the rapping, and we put them in the studio, and then we say, okay, we're gonna make a video. We got the people that's in the dance, we put the people in the, see, everything trickles that way.
Yeah, but you know what, Mike?
We call it
Mike,
trickling up.
Mike, you know what? But see, there's a guy, okay, look at that guy at Shaker Square. He's like the template. He's training the people in the restaurant business, He's opened up restaurants. He can take people who've been formerly incarcerated, teach them the different culinary skills and all this stuff, and got a place for them, So we just have to do that same thing with music,
That's exactly what I'm saying, because see, you have to remember this too. I had a training program too, but see, he got more connections. His father-in-law is rich,
right?
And I'm
that ain't never hurt you, huh?
no, that ain't no
I trained over 100-some people, changed the lives of 100-some people. So therefore,
it's major,
it's like, but they look at you, well, you ain't done that, but this guy do this, and it's like, okay, they all on him, and we know that's why, and we know why. And I'm not gonna say it, but we know why.
Well, one thing.
He's doing a good job. They give him money.
Mm-hmm.
He got all kind of stuff that he developed. The guy's name was Brandon or something like that. But and I'm just.
Oh, he's the guy from 105 over there. He got the thing they built up over 105.
No, this is Shaker Square. This is
no Shaker Square. The guy. What's the name of his? What's the name of his?
Edwins.
Edwins.
Okay.
Yeah. One thing that I see in other cities that Cleveland doesn't have, like if you look in Atlanta, even Columbus, Ohio, Detroit, and of course New York, California, they have places where young people can go and get trained on how to do music and make a living doing music.
Well, that's what we say.
Like Atlanta, they have a summer school in Atlanta, Artist Development Network, which also has a branch in Columbus, where you go there for 3 months all summer, and all you do is learn how to make a living doing music.
Until we do that, that's what I'm saying. Until we do that, it can't happen. We have to do that.
Yeah, well, the Cleveland School of Arts is good. Yeah, the Cleveland School of Arts is good, but it doesn't really teach you how to make a living doing music. And what these places do, I mean, they work on your branding, they work on your dance, they work on your, the way you eat, and if you're promising, then they have people, supporters, who will kind of take you under their wing. You know, that's what Janelle Monáe, India Ari came out of what was called Atlanta Underground. You know, Atlanta had the overground and the underground. You know, they had the main stars, you know, that was in the clubs, and then they had a big underground thing in Atlanta where, you know, these, like you talk about these smaller clubs, Mike, 500 to 1,000 people. You had a whole lot of artists that came out of what's called Atlanta Underground.
Oh, yeah,
But
I know,
they have,
I've been there. I know.
yeah, okay, yeah. But they have a lot of schools, you know, and to take young people and train them on how to make a living doing music, which something Cleveland doesn't have.
Did
You
y'all
know.
ever see, did y'all ever see the series Treme about the New Orleans music set?
Yeah, I saw
Yeah,
that.
you know, that's what I'm saying. You know, it was down in New Orleans. You know, my daughter was living there, so we go down there to visit. And the thing is that the man, if you can't play an instrument and stuff, man, they look at you like you crazy. You know, people walk around with their axe all the, well, you know, the axe, their music, they
Instruments.
their instrument.
Yeah.
All the axe, you got chopped down.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
But
Yeah,
they walk around with their axe and everything all around the place. So it's the culture, and we have to grow the culture. You know, we don't have to change it because it's not it doesn't exist. But what we can do is grow the culture and make sure that we have things and money and people to sustain it. See, that's the whole thing. We can come up with all kind of ideas and it go for a year or two and then it's gone. But we have to sustain it. We have to make sure that it's sustained.
But one thing I know, cities like Detroit and Atlanta, one of the things that happens is people, like for instance, Janelle Monáe, people that come out of there and are successful and make a lot of money, you know, Killer Mike, they go back into the community and invest money to help other artists.
Right.
You know, so they'll take their money and their time and they'll help other artists. And I don't know, I don't see that happening too much in Cleveland.
Look at the millionaire sports people that we have. You know, we've got people that work right here at Zelma George over at Woodhill over here. And the thing is that we've had a lot of people, because I know the trainer over there, a guy named Coach D, training my grandson. He's trained, you know, people that's in the NBA. He trained Terry Rozier. He trained a lot of the NFL players. You know, we got to bring that money back here.
Yeah,
y'all got to come here and invest.
Yeah, you do, yeah.
You know,
and I don't know how you do that, but you know, you have to have some pride about where you're from. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let's not exclude Onre. Onre, what do you think? Your thoughts about getting these kind of developers in Cleveland and getting Cleveland back on the map?
Well, what they need, like you said, they're gonna need venues. They're gonna need a lot of corporate connections for people that's in the financing and the whole 100 yard. You talking about black business financing, people that don't doubt what you can do. See, you got a lot of people here want you to prove your point. You know what I'm saying? I'm the type of person, I ain't got to prove nothing. I know what I can do. So it's a thing where it's a lot of people in doubt. You know what I'm saying? They want somebody to make the first step. When they make the first step, then they may invest or they might think about it. You know what I'm saying? But it's you all the time got to start the ball rolling.
One thing that Cleveland don't have. Okay, wait.
We can still see you.
Yeah. Let me say this. See, the one thing that Cleveland don't have a lot of, and that's risk capital. You got venture capital, and they want to make sure that it's safe and everything. But you got California, New York, Atlanta. You got a lot of rich people down there that have the risk capital.
Right.
You mean like angel investors and stuff like that?
People don't have a lot of risk capital here.
Well,
we may have to go outside the city to get it, you know.
Yeah, you might have to go out to bring it back.
Oh, I'm not saying.
I think too, a lot of it takes a lot of money to really get an artist going. You know, and I think a lot of people here, because they don't have that music background, that entrepreneurial music background, they don't really understand. It's people here that could come up with $300,000 or $400,000 to get artists going, but you know, it's risky. when you could just
You-
take
you-
that
you
money and
got-
buy
you got
stock
people
or
that-
something. Yeah, you know.
Well, it is risky because you never know if the artist will flip on you, decide to
Right.
pull off and do something, or a girl
That's
get
true.
pregnant,
That's true. Yeah, yeah.
decide to get
That's
married,
why, that's why it's risk capital. You
It's
take
risk
risk.
capital. Yeah, yeah. But if the artist is successful, then you can make 200 or 300 million. You know,
Yeah, you can make
I think
some
it
money.
takes, and I've seen a lot of people that start developing artists, and after a while, they was like, okay, I haven't seen a return on my money yet. Well, with in music, it may take a while. It may take 5 years. It may take a little longer.
I
Before
know
you really start seeing money come back. But when it comes back, it can come back real quick in a big way.
right?
I knew a couple of guys that had invested in the Daz band.
Mhm.
And they had already had Let It Whip, Let It Do. They moved to another management, a new ownership, and did nothing. In fact, changed their name to the American Way. Just like some of the band members stayed, some of them left, and they couldn't use the Daz band name stuff. So you got to understand those things. That those things happen. I know a guy that owned the Young Hope Trio. Cannonball Adderley. Right here in Cleveland. They were managed here with some people here that I knew. But when they bought them and they had their little hits and stuff, and Soulful Strut and some other stuff, and after they bought them, man, it just went like downhill.
Yeah.
But what it is, they stopped being creative. They creative frame of thinking stops. You got to keep doing something. You got to keep some new ideas going.
Mhm.
That's why
Stay hungry.
I say if you got 1,000 sounds, you want to use the buckle. If you can get 500 sounds and use them, right? And this keeps you creative and motivated, And like I tell you, if somebody having positive comments and saying that you're all right, you're doing the right way, and you're doing this, they know music. They do. They know music before you can get it out there good,
Okay, let me ask you this. Okay, it's probably a two-part question. Like, where'd you grow up at in Cleveland, and are you helping any of the young people in Cleveland today?
I'm gonna tell you like this. A lot of these people, like back in the day, they all would be more so interested. A lot of people now got fickle minds. They don't know if they want to do music or this or that or that. They jumping so much that I just go in my little way. You know what I'm saying? If somebody come to me for some help, I wouldn't mind. But the thing of it is, they don't come for help. They need help. A lot of people here believe that they're already superstars and all this before you can get to them.
You're right about that. You're right.
So like, this is a big problem. So like, it's a young lady live down the street from me. She going to college and all this good stuff. She can sing. She do a lot of instruments and all this. And I went to her and I say, why don't you write me a song? About what? Then she turned around and said, I don't have the time. I was done. You right down the street from me. I don't have the time for the okie doke. The thing ain't going right. I ain't got time. I know what real people are. They're on the other side of the world happen.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
you gotta be
fun-
hungry,
funny.
man.
It's funny you say that though, because I've had artists that come over here from Copenhagen, from Australia, from the Philippines, and spend a year or two to get their career going.
Right.
And then I had another artist here that couldn't go from Cleveland Heights to Maple Heights to get to the studio on time.
Right.
Because
And I mean, it's
got a lot going
the way
on.
they think, their frame of reference is totally different, man. I noticed the one artist that was on our show, Lotus Noir. Now she's in Copenhagen, Denmark. Now when they had the lockdown there, they gave them a choice of getting unemployment, or you could take a lump sum and start a business. Well, she took her money and bought a studio and moved back in with her grandparents, and now she's making money.
Because she was serious. She was
And
serious.
like, that was
vision,
her whole focus. Not, I'm gonna do music and I'm gonna go to the white party, and then I'm gonna do music, and then I'm gonna go to Jamaica for a couple of weeks, and I think a mindset with a lot of artists from outside of Cleveland, and even some from outside the United States, they are totally dedicated to doing their music. And I think, to me, that's the biggest difference.
Yeah, what I say, they're not hungry enough.
They're not
No.
hungry. That's right.
I told somebody just the other day that I say, these people, they gotta be out here to a point where they gotta have 3 or 4 different mindsets, you know?
Yeah.
In other words,
They try to do too many things. You know, they want to do music. They may be going to school. There's nothing wrong with going to school, but you gotta, when you do music, you're competing against people that's going at it 24/7. And they don't have, you know, I had this one young lady, she's a African-American country singer from Arizona. So I said, well, what's your plan B? She said, Robert, there's no plan B.
They
There's
should be.
no plan B. There's only plan A, you know?
It should be. You know, you
You
go
know
up
what I'm
and then you
saying?
fall, you know?
Yeah.
You gotta
But,
think of what you're gonna do if the bottom fall out. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I ain't never stopped moving around, man. Shit.
But
Look,
Mike, you hit on a good point, man. They're not hungry enough. And I
Nah.
think it's too many, you know, it's too many ways out, you know. And they're not hungry enough. Yeah.
no.
You know,
Yeah.
But you know, that is one thing though, to be said though, when you don't have a plan B and it's only plan A, you know you've got to make it. It's either this
you
or that.
got-
All or
Yeah,
nothing,
you gotta
you know.
have something going on. If
Yeah,
not,
yeah.
you become a thing of the past.
That's
It
right.
can
That's like
yeah.
that's like one hit wonders. You say, well,
Yeah.
yeah, get out now. I don't hear nothing from them. Shoot, man, you better have something else to do. That's why a lot of the artists go into business. Say,
on Fallon 1, 2, 3. Remember the guy said, he said, you know, he said, what's your plan B? He said, the plan B is, well, what the plan B is to enforce plan A.
mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah,
You know? So it's just like, okay, keep it going. But, you know, and I've worked with artists and stuff and had my own artists, and, you know, things fall apart. You know, the group, everybody in the group wants to be a star, and one person, you know, want to be more than the next person. You know,
Yeah.
we dealing with that. I had a 4-man group, and the record company said, we're not doing 4 men no more. Everybody's got 3 men. So how do you, all these guys been singing for 4 or 5 years together as young boys, and they're coming up, and it's like, who do you cut?
Yeah, that's what it be. You know, because I used to travel with a good sized band. I scaled down to a trio.
Yeah.
You know, simply because them cats had attitudes and some baby mama drama. Man, listen, I ain't got too much time for that. You know,
Smartest guy was what's his name? He guitar player, but he wouldn't even have a band. He would drive around in his car. He was in Cadillac. I know his name, but the guy that did Johnny Be Good.
that's Chuck Berry.
Chuck Berry wouldn't have a band. His guitar and his Cadillac, and he would drive around because one of the gigs he had they had hired Bruce Springsteen's group to be his backup band, and they was like, you know, they was like, well, who do it? But they didn't know his records, and they said they had a drummer who knew every one of Chuck Berry's songs. And so, you know, with Chuck Berry, you know, when he starts out every song, he go, you know, he do that. But the drummer would haul out F, E, you know, tell her what key to play in. But he never had a band. He just hired people when he got there.
Yeah, well, a lot of people do that when they travel internationally. You know, they can go from here to Russia, and the band will be already set up.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, Kim Weston was here in town. That's the one who used to sing with Marvin Gaye.
Motown. Yeah, Motown.
Yeah, she did a show in Italy, and the band knew every song that she could sing. Knew the whole portfolio.
But when you get good musicians, like I know I had an artist, we did a couple shows at the Sugar Bar in New York. That's Valerie Simpson, you know, Valerie Simpson. That's Valerie Simpson's place. And I said, well, we'll need to come and rehearse. He said, no, you don't. He said, just send us the sheet music. He said, we'll run through it one time before the show and then we'll do it.
Right.
And I sent them the sheet music and they ran through it one time. And it was like they had been playing with it for 20 years, you know? But, yeah, so.
Yeah, a lot of them do that, you know? Sure. In fact, if you remember in the James Brown movie, you know, when the band quit, he said, hey, call that boy up in suits in Cincinnati. What's the name? Bootsy.
Yeah, Bootsy.
Bootsy Collins, yeah.
Yeah,
Bootsy been playing for a long time, man.
Yeah, I played with Bootsy down in Georgia.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, down to a place called the Amvet Club. He was with the JBs then.
Man, Bootsy is a gangster, man. I'm gonna tell you what he did. We saw him at the festival the music festival in Cincinnati about, because we should go all the way up until the pandemic. But last time we was there, Bootsy came on, because he's from Cincinnati. Bootsy came on, and he don't play that much because he got arthritis in his hands.
Yeah.
So, this guy, he started the song and he was singing, and they were doing, man, he had his phone and he just walked through the audience and his band still playing and he doing selfies with people and stuff and everybody playing and he just walked right out the stadium and the people are still playing. I'm just like, Bootsy's a gangster, man. He's a gangster.
Yeah, he wild man.
I met him at Michigan State. I was at Michigan State. And back then, artists, they would meet up, like they might be doing different gigs. And his band was meeting up because they had a show at Michigan State. And so we saw him walking across campus and said, hey, man, that's Bootsy Collins.
Right.
So, we went and picked him up, gave him a ride. And he said, man, I need some place to hang out, can you put me up for the night? And one of the guys said, yeah, you can stay at my place. But that used to be pretty common with musicians.
But
they pop into town, and then if they didn't know anybody, if they knew somebody, they go stay and they bring their instrument,
But
and they would just meet up, for the show. Yeah.
George Clinton's daughter was there at Michigan State.
Okay.
They had pictures. They had pictures, and she was crying because he had all this stuff in his hair, and she didn't want to know that she was George Clinton's daughter.
But you know what George Clinton said one time? It made a lot of sense. He said that somebody asked him about the character that he created, with his costume and everything. And he said, man, let me ask you something. He said, how old is Mickey Mouse? And somebody said, I don't know. He looks the same as he always did. He said, well, he's about 80 years old. He said, one thing about characters, said people get old, but characters never age, And he said, that's why he always created that character, of the P-Funk, whatever you used to call
whatever he is.
Yeah.
George Clinton, man, in fact, they should have really got artists of the century. Because they gave it to Marvin Gaye, but when the Millennium and stuff did, they gave it to him for that. But it should have been George Clinton because his music crossed all bounds. They was in rap, they was in gospel, they was in.
Plus their shows, man, like in the 70s, coming down in a spaceship, to kill the guy that hates funk. He was looking for, what was the guy's name?
Sir Nose.
Sir devoid of funk, Sir Nose, devoid of funk.
Sir Nose.
Yeah, Sir Nose. Yeah, Sir Nose was against funk music, and he was coming down in a spaceship to kill him with his guitar playing funk music. I mean, that was a hell of a show, man, for the time. Yeah.
A lot of people never seen this, but the greatest show that the Funkadelic, their whole organization, Brides of Funkenstein and all that stuff, they did an underwater show. They did an underwater show where it was like an aquarium. And they had the fish walking, because they had the fish, and had the fish, the anglefish with the long thing.
Now he was in like a steel suit, right?
No, he wasn't.
Was that the one?
It was just just like an aquarium, like an expensive aquarium that you look at. They did that's when they had the underwater boogie and stuff. And we saw them down at public auditorium down there. I was with some friends. And the water show, man, because they had about 4 acts: the Bride of Funkenstein, the Parliament, because they call it, the whole thing is the Parliamental Funkadelic thing.
The guy's name you was trying to think of is Sir Nose, devoid of funk.
Yeah.
He was a musician that didn't have no funk. so Bootsy Collins was coming down from space to bring the funk back, So,
that's what Earth, Wind, and Fire talk about. Earth, Wind, and Fire talk about, they were in DC, and they had to go off stage, and they didn't know, what they was doing. They said they were playing, and when they got off the stage, when they were time for them to end, people were just clapping. Wasn't too many people clapping, and they was just like, okay, well, what's wrong with these people? Because they from the West Coast. Then all of a sudden, the Funkadelics was next. They said the spaceship, the mothership landed. You know how the mothership landed. They said George Clinton came out with these big high heels, and they said all you heard was go, 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 go. They said they looked at that, the people was going crazy, And they said, what did you do? He said, we went back to LA and we practiced.
Yeah, because they use that now. They use that even now. I saw them 2017, 2018, two or 3 years ago, and they still use that now where they come on the spaceship, you know.
Let's get back to Oren. He just rolled his eyes on us.
Okay, so Onre, so what do we need to do, man, to get this music thing going in Cleveland, man?
You need to find an artist and see how far they can get that artist to go excel on their own platform. Simple.
Okay. Now, what about corporate sponsorships? What about corporate sponsorships?
I would tell you to get that artist and start branding that artist. It's like I told somebody before, you got to diversify with an artist. They got to see what their good qualities are, and then you got to find out what other direction they can go in. So that artist can go in various different directions. That's what you want. You want somebody that's multifaceted. They can do singing, they can do modeling, they can dance or whatever, but you want something that hold the people's attention.
Yeah. Well, Rihanna makes more money on perfume, I think, than she does doing concerts. Is that true?
What the deal is, she's a billionaire now.
Yeah. I think she made a lot of that money from her Fenty, the lingerie.
She did a lot of stuff. Yeah, that's the thing. Lingerie, perfume, and clothing, the whole 9 yards, you know.
But it's all about the brand she created, though.
Yeah, you got to do that. You take a person, when people get interested in an individual, you say, well, now what else can we do with this artist or whatever? Because the word artist means a lot of things. It's a creative environment. So you got to think of time, the trend, you know what I'm saying? If that person can sing, they can dress, okay, you got something going on. Okay, now if that person got a business mind, okay, there's something else going on, you know?
Yeah.
And then that artist has to be to sell itself to the public. So they can sell themselves to a multitude of people and get that engagement going. They can keep on developing and growing something. It doesn't take but one.
Okay.
Yeah.
You get one that's hot, man, everybody will follow you.
Yeah. Well, this has been a spirited discussion. I think I didn't know, I guess everybody here has been involved in the music business, you know, at one time or another. And it's, you know, I think the difference between Cleveland and other cities, you can actually do this for a living and make a good living, you know.
Oh yeah, see what
a lot of musicians in Cleveland, they'll do music, but they still might work it for it. You know,
they want to get a factory job because to get away from the factory mentality, you had to go on a gig.
Okay. Well, Onre, we're getting ready to close. So do you have any words of wisdom to impart upon closing?
Yeah, tell everybody to keep on pushing, reaching for the stars, because eventually they'll be able to touch one.
There you go.
Okay.
That's positive.
I can't top that. Well, we thank you for tuning in tonight, and we will see you next week, same time. Any closing thoughts, Mike, Burrow?
Thanks, Andre. I'm glad you were here, brother.
Yeah, I'm glad to see you guys got that spirit, man.
All right, thank you, sir. We appreciate you coming back. Hope you come back again.
Yeah.
And don't forget, Mike Shomo, Ward 4 council person.
Okay, we got
Tell your friends.
Yeah, we got you.
Okay. All right.
Good enough.
See you later.